What if I told you that somewhere in a quiet mountain village in rural China, an 85-year-old grandmother still climbs hills carrying baskets of firewood, while here in America, many 65-year-olds are struggling to lift a grocery bag? We've been sold a story about aging, that it's a slow, irreversible decline, that losing strength is just natural, that weak muscles, aching joints, and fatigue are simply the price we pay for growing older. But what if that story is wrong? What if vitality in old age isn't about fancy gym routines or overpriced supplements, but about something much simpler, something ancient, something we've overlooked? In the next few minutes, I'll share with you a forgotten truth, one that blends timeless Eastern wisdom with cutting-edge science, a truth that's quietly changing lives and might just change yours too. So stay with me, because the insight waiting at the end of this journey might hit you like a lightning bolt and rewrite everything you thought you knew about aging. Let me ask you something. When did we start believing that losing strength was just part of growing older? Think about it. We blame age for everything. Our weak knees, sore backs, slower walks. We're told it's normal, acceptable, inevitable. But what if that's the biggest lie we've ever accepted about our bodies? Here's a truth few people talk about. Muscle loss isn't the cause, it's the symptom. The real issue starts far deeper, at the cellular level. Inside every single one of your trillions of cells, there's an ancient engine, a little powerhouse called the mitochondrion. It's not just a biology term you forgot from high school. It's the very spark that determines whether your body is building or breaking down. And every day, yes, every day, your body is silently making a decision. Regenerate or deteriorate. Grow stronger or slowly fade. That choice isn't based on your age. It's based on the signals your body receives and the fuel it's given. Modern medicine often looks at aging like it's a war we're losing. So it throws protein shakes at the problem, pushes seniors through intense exercise regimens, and wonders why results are so minimal, or why injuries happen more than progress. But ancient wisdom? It never saw aging as defeat. Traditional Chinese medicine, Ayurvedic practices, indigenous healing, they all saw aging as a shift in energy balance, not a breakdown, a transition. These traditions believed, and modern science is now beginning to agree, that the body has the power to regenerate at any age. But only when we stop chasing surface-level symptoms and start listening to the deeper whispers within. Let me put it another way. If your house is losing power, would you keep changing the light bulbs? Or would you finally go check the circuit breaker? Muscles, bones, energy levels, they're just the light bulbs. The mitochondria? They're the circuit breaker. When your mitochondria lack the right support, the whole house dims, slowly, silently, without alarm. And one day you wake up and say, "Why does everything feel heavier?" But here's the good news. That dimming isn't permanent. That spark is still in there, waiting. You just need to give your cells the message, the nutrients, the belief that rebuilding is still possible. Because it is. And not only possible, it's natural. It's written into your biology. Your cells don't want to decay. They're built to heal, adapt, and strengthen. But they need your partnership. So the next time someone tells you, "Oh, that's just old age," look them in the eye and say, "No, that's just unbalanced energy, and I'm learning how to restore it." Let's talk about something we rarely see, but that powers every heartbeat, every breath, every moment of life: cellular energy. Inside every cell in your body, whether you're 25 or 85, there lives a tiny powerhouse called the mitochondrion. Think of it like the engine of your car, quietly humming in the background. When we're young, that engine roars, energy flows easily, healing is fast, we feel sharp, light, alive. But as the years go by, that engine begins to sputter. Not because it's broken, but because it's tired, undernourished, forgotten. And here's the secret most doctors won't tell you. This decline is not inevitable. Mitochondria can be recharged, rebuilt, and even multiplied at any age. So, what do these engines run on? There's one nutrient, almost sacred in traditional healing, called shihani in ancient Chinese medicine. Roughly translated, it means the one that feeds the deepest fire. Today, we know it by another name, coenzyme Q10, or Q10. CoQ10 isn't just a supplement you find on a pharmacy shelf. It's a vital fuel your mitochondria need to produce energy, to heal tissue, to keep your muscles and brain alive and responsive. Here's the problem. After age 40, your natural levels of CoQ10 start to drop. By 60, you might be running on fumes and not even know it. Now, here's the part they don't tell you in glossy wellness ads. Most commercial CoQ10 supplements don't work. They're synthetic, poorly absorbed. It's like pouring cheap oil into a luxury engine. It just doesn't fire right. But traditional cultures knew better. They didn't take pills. They ate the parts of the animal that were richest in bioavailable CoQ10, the heart, especially from grass-fed animals. Why the heart? Because it's the most hard-working muscle in the body, and it stores the highest levels of this miracle molecule. Modern science is finally catching up. Studies show that organ-derived CoQ10, not the synthetic kind, dramatically improves mitochondrial function, energy levels, and muscle strength in older adults, and it works fast. Within weeks, people report clearer thinking, deeper sleep, better stamina, and a sense of lightness in their bodies they haven't felt in years. You don't need to overhaul your diet or become a liver connoisseur. Even small amounts of high-quality organ meat or freeze-dried heart supplements can reignite your energy from the inside out. Because the truth is, your fatigue isn't laziness. Your weakness isn't failure. It's your cells whispering for fuel, and now you know what they've been asking for. Let me tell you a story. It's not a miracle story. It's not hype. It's a story of biology, belief, and a 73-year-old woman named Margaret. When Margaret first came to one of my workshops, she walked like her body had given up on her. Groceries felt like bricks. Standing from a chair was a struggle. Her kids had already started talking about assisted living. She looked at me and said, "I don't want to be a burden, but I don't know what else to try." She'd tried everything: protein shakes, resistance bands, even expensive IV drips. Nothing helped. But when I talked about cellular energy and how the heart of grass-fed animals is the richest natural source of CoQ10, something shifted in her. Maybe it was the simplicity, or maybe it was the deep remembering, like her body already knew this truth but had forgotten. She started small. Tiny amounts of high-quality freeze-dried heart capsules. Not much, but just enough to send her cells a different signal. 3 weeks in, her sleep deepened. 6 weeks in, she lifted her groceries and didn't even realize it. By 3 months, she stood from a chair with ease and felt stronger than she had in years. But here's what moved me most. It wasn't the muscle, it was the fire in her eyes. She said, "For the first time in a decade, I feel like my body is on my side again." That's what this is about. Not just movement, but meaning. Not just strength, but sovereignty. Because when you support the root energy of your body, even in the smallest ways, it doesn't just change your muscles, it changes your relationship with aging, with yourself. And here's the best part. You don't need to eat liver stew or blend hearts into smoothies. Modern wisdom meets ancient knowledge through freeze-dried heart supplements sourced from grass-fed animals prepared to preserve the bioactive CoQ10 your mitochondria crave. You can start with just one capsule, one conscious choice to honor the engine inside you. Because sometimes the smallest decision can rewire the biggest story. And like Margaret discovered, your body might be waiting, not to survive, but to shine again. It's a beautiful moment in history. when science begins to confirm what ancient wisdom has whispered for centuries. For thousands of years, traditional healers from Asia to Africa believed that aging wasn't about falling apart. It was about losing balance, especially the inner fire that fuels vitality. They didn't have microscopes, but they had observation, intuition, and generational memory. And now modern science is catching up. Today, researchers around the world are zeroing in on a molecule that lives inside every one of your cells, coenzyme Q10. If you're over 50, you should know this name like you know your own, because CoQ10 is the spark plug of your life force. It helps your mitochondria, the tiny powerhouses in your cells, convert oxygen and nutrients into usable energy. No CoQ10, no spark. No spark, no strength, no clarity, no recovery. And here's what the studies show. By age 50, CoQ10 levels in the body can drop by more than 50%. By age 70, some people have less than a third of what they had in their youth. And with that loss comes more than just fatigue. It affects muscle strength, memory, mood, even heart function. Yes, that "I'm just getting older" feeling? It could be your mitochondria waving a white flag. But there's hope, and it's backed by research. Studies now confirm that supplementing with natural, bioavailable forms of CoQ10, especially those derived from whole food sources like organ meats, can restore mitochondrial function, improve energy output, and even reverse signs of muscle loss. One study showed that older adults who took bioavailable CoQ10 for just 12 weeks saw measurable improvements in muscle strength, reaction time, sleep quality, and overall vitality. But here's the kicker: not all CoQ10 is created equal. Synthetic versions, the kind in most drugstore brands, often pass through the body without ever being absorbed. Your cells barely recognize them. But CoQ10 in its natural form, the kind found in heart tissue of grass-fed animals, isn't seen as a foreign substance. It's seen as food. Your body knows what to do with it. It welcomes it. It uses it. That's why traditional cultures thrived on these nutrient-dense foods long before laboratories existed. They weren't guessing. They were listening to nature, to their bodies, to patterns passed down through time. And now science is saying the same thing, not with incense or chance, but with peer-reviewed data, clinical trials, and published journals. So no, this isn't folk medicine anymore. It's not alternative. It's evidence-based. It's real. It's now. And it invites you to do something simple. Reclaim your strength, not by fighting time, but by feeding what time has been slowly depleting. Because your body isn't broken. It's brilliant, and it remembers how to heal if you give it the right signal. Let's pause for a moment. Not to look back with regret, but to look forward with clarity. Maybe no one ever told you this before, but your body is not broken. It's not weak. It's not finished. It's simply waiting for the right support, for a signal that says, "I haven't given up on you." We've been taught to treat aging like a diagnosis, like a slow surrender. But what if we saw it for what it truly is? A shift, a transition, a new chapter where strength is no longer just physical, but deeply rooted. You see, aging doesn't have to be a falling apart. It can be a coming together, a remembering of what still works, what still shines, what still matters. And here's the truth. Your cells haven't given up. Your mitochondria haven't given up. So maybe it's time you didn't either. Because this isn't about pretending to be 25 again. It's about being 65 and fully alive. It's about walking forward, not as a victim of time, but as a partner in your own renewal. So let me ask you something. What story have you been living about aging? That you're getting slower, smaller, less relevant? Or that this chapter, this very one you're in right now, might just be the beginning of your strongest, wisest, most powerful self? Because the pen is in your hand. You can write something new. And your body? It's ready to help you do it.